stuff. If when this is on YouTube, Alex, if you could try to edit that part out before they warn me. But that being said, if you're gonna say something, I don't care, but you need to use better language or incognito language. Pretend the police are always watching. They're here. There's got to be at least one cop in here. If you are in here, can you like put your like project some authority or something? Threaten to arrest them. All right. Or just don't say it. That's a good one too. All right, just
Okay.
be careful. All right, going into 3, do we have often in the market?
I
So
posted the
off.
Labor
The
Day.
correct one? Okay. All right, so pre-market. Immediately prior, though the magnitude is small and overshadowed by high variability, this pattern is strong on long-term. So getaway effect is often gain more on a last trade before a holiday, sometimes over 10 times more compared to an average trading day. So this is likely driven by behavioral factors like optimism and reduced shorting activity. The Labor Day holiday is included in such patterns. Analyst Jeff Hurst found that in the last 21 years, Wednesday before Labor Day rather than Friday has been the strongest. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Strongest performer across indices over 70% of the time with average gains. Okay, so that's interesting. It's good information. High volatility, no clear direction, no toddler. With no, well, after Labor Day. I don't really care about after. Often a weak start to September. September's always sucks, though. I feel like last year's September sucked too, didn't it?
It did.
It was just a box building month. You guys better try to make some money. Morgan Trades found innocent. Shame on you. She hit him. All right, Mr. Roids, and your name, I can't tell you how perfect that is. Biologically, well, this is what I told him because he DM'd me. If you've got feet, you can leave. Okay? And if you are in that situation, sorry, as a man, we are biologically bigger. Right? We could, if you full force hit your wife, could probably kill her. Right? Some wives are bigger
Whoa,
though,
whoa,
you
whoa,
know.
whoa, whoa! What did I come back to here? Holy
Don't worry
shit!
about it. But jeez, that was a terrible time to come back. But listen, I'm telling you, you have to be the bigger person, and you're not a respect. I'm telling you that because I know you have to do better. Then again, I would say that if that's any indication of how he handles his emotions, not to say that I'm perfect, dude, because I don't swing, at least not outside of the charts. So I'm going to leave that at that.
You just talking about Alex again?
No, no, he's another hitter. Just a few more Mountain Dews, and he's going to swing. I promise you that.
Dude, I'm scared of my wife.
But listen,
I'm
you
not
got
gonna use. I'm not
you.
gonna use the words, but did this like Discord go from the R word a lot of times to now DV,
Listen, we're
domestic?
all we all are in life as well, so it's natural. But I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah, swing trade. Yeah, Morgan. That's the dude. But again, there's really, unless your life is in true danger, knives out, or a hit's coming or something like that. Well, get out of there, dude. Get out. That's it. All right, goodbye. So I just that comment right there. Yeah, I don't respect people who have that type of opinion.
How do you feel if 5 women attacked your wife?
I would probably kill you.
You know, I think I need to tune in on TikTok more. I think
Yeah.
that's
All right. Anyway, so yeah, edit that out too, Alex.
This is what happens. We all have ADD. We can't stay on topic.
Yeah, I try really hard. All right, so all 3 ETFs, obviously, going into this Memorial Day weekend. What do those statistics really do for us? What maybe we see added volatility. We're looking at the QQQ, right? Moving up strong. I see a target of 579 tomorrow if you can surpass this. SPY, obviously, this is all-time highs, but I have the channel setting up here, so maybe you see that 651 like I talked about. But anyway, yeah, this is gonna be a weird video. That's a lame ass fucking excuse. You know what I'm saying? It's a lame excuse. All right. So if you have anything you want me to take a look at, you can start dropping those in the request channel now. Obviously, if you are in snow, this thing is pulling back as I speak, and is liable to come and retest some of the volume it put down underneath us, including the 239 70 area. Maybe a little bit further. Obviously, we don't want to lose anything around this area, but this level, if you zoom out, apparently I moved my line. So this is one of the few levels that we had to break past once we left that box. And so one could assume that 239, 240 is your retest level if anybody is concerned on that one. ALK is closing positive, and one could say that we have a positive candle close on the floor. So now I'm going to go after the 64.75 target. How you want to manage that is obviously, expiration wise, there could be an addition trade there as well. I think it's perfect. And I will warn you, airlines do like to give you the whippy sometimes, but they hold strong on their levels. So the box underneath us at 62.28, that's going to dictate whether we go and retest areas like 61. So use those areas wisely. That's literally called having a plan. Just make a plan. I get out here, I get in here, I take profit here. Write it down. All right.
Hey, Potter, I have a question real quick. I keep getting this confused on well, if you're going down and you want to know if you've lost anything, you look to the left, first red candle to the left. And
It,
is it if you lose the body or the wick or both or either? I can't remember. And I know green candles, same thing, but I can't remember if it's the wick or the body.
if you'd taken the workshop, no, I'm sorry.
I gotta rewatch that. Which episode is that?
Beats me, dude. I think it's in the fourth one, if I'm not mistaken. There was a lot of classes. So
I will rewatch it.
Okay, so that being said, it's typically going to be the top, like, red candle, yes. If you're looking to your left, it would be the same thing if you were to flip that chart upside down, right? And that's a lot of the times a good way to remember that. If you look over this way, it would be the top of these red candles here, through this empty space, because you don't really have any structure to go off of. And this is the first bit of structure that you had to basically dump through in order, so that structure is still relevant. That's why I'm saying right now that candle's closed on the floor. But obviously on the flip side, if you were falling, just like you see here, yes, it would be those red candles to the left. So he just wanted to say body and wick. Probably. Chad's freaky, dude. All right. JD. Listen. I don't know. The bounce. It's Chinese stocks. The bounce is pretty convincing. So I'd like to see if this thing can give us a really sizable gap up. I held my calls, So let's see if we can kind of end with a candle close or a candle open on 30.75. And again, the potential here with this channel, right, is pretty large. I believe as well, I don't know how I feel about this one. That could sponsor some more downside, especially down to that gap of 27. But, if we're kind of using the candle closes and points of contact, which zooming in here, you can see the candle closes, pulls itself up on that 21.45. So points of contact there, us losing the channel. So reclaiming that channel and breaking over 32.60, I think would have a pretty large impact. But yeah, what? Will Chinese stocks ever go back to their glory days? And he said, hey, Dahmer. All right, buddy. Do I think part of me doesn't feel like under this presidency, looking outside of the fundamental or the technicals. One could even argue that this is looking down, that this could be something where you bounced before you even got to the floor. You've already bounced on that floor 3 times. And if we start losing, and I would say one of the levels that I especially would be concerned about is this one at 29.28. So, all right, guys, that's about that. I did want to just talk about Neo really quick as we get into the end of the week. Watch for this one to make a move. This could be a downside play. I do still see the potential for continuation to the upside, but one of the things I see on the lower time frame, small accounts could be looking at this one. And this is something I think could be an intraday thing going into a swing. But you've left a lot of gaps inside of that structure. And we have 2 attempts off the top. So tomorrow, again, I don't think this is something you have to do now. There's also a gap up at the top. I have a target looking over to my left.
Thought today was Friday again.
Yeah, tomorrow's Friday.
When you said tomorrow, I was completely lost.
Yeah. Take a minute to breathe, man. Put that thing down. So you have a build underneath a major. I would say 675 is that wall, right? And we're up against it. The gap I think was filled yeah, so we tapped that gap. So the next target would be the 50% markup there around 705. And we could go and test that high. So this is my thoughts right now. If you're interested in looking at this play tomorrow, if you see a fat pop up here, it could wick out here. But if it does not hold and it gets pulled back in, immediately grabbing some downside opportunity here. We'll see how tomorrow goes. But I think one thing that pretty impressive here is, Neo's gotten within a fucking hair. And that's what I would say tomorrow. We've gotten really close to that $7 mark. So let's see. Dahmer, what is on your nose, brother? You look weeby with it. Doesn't fit your nerdy kid look. That's awesome. It's one of those nose expanders. Sinuses. One of Ellie's friends just tested positive for COVID. So, yeah. I'll fight that shit off, dude. My garlic pack. All right, go ahead and drop your request, guys, and let's see if we can add anything into the watch list going into tomorrow. In the
Would you
chat.
aim for $4 on Neo?
Okay, so let's write a story here. Where did you bounce off of? Ooh, right? What happens when you lose that level? Ooh. So $5 would be first. Where's the first set of structure? $5. So $5 would be a target. We do have some minor turbulence wicks. I should brand that at 550. Okay. So it's definitely a potential here for this one to kick some ass, but I would say just be patient. Don't feel this sense of urgency when there's no need. All right. Yeah, go ahead and drop those. So we have, oh damn, the list is long. Let's see. AMD. Okay. I'm curious to see if the Qs pull back, man. I don't know. I'm watching. Conspiracy theories. Yeah, 576.90. All right. So, AMD weekly is confusing. You're inside of the box. We know that. Candle close. Okay, so let's really dig into this box. Pause. Candle closes. Mad amount of candle closes at that 167. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour, 168.40. You got that wick out. So sellers made their attempt. They tried to pull it back down underneath the control of that fucker right there, and they were unable to do so. So the price opens up and it moves back up. And so it would only really be the 50% mark, which was the other rejection point there that you would need to clear to go ahead and make that move up to the upside at 175.10. And yeah, I would venture to guess that that was going to likely happen tomorrow. So that looks pretty damn good as far as pushing sellers out. I think this could also be something that's relatively easily hedged, because if that was to fail, 158.20 would be my first target to the downside. Maybe price 155. 155 next week. But all right. Chart looks good though. Your chart looks good, man. NU to the upside, NU to the downside. All right. So again, this was a range on NU. I think we talked about that before. And that range was really the only separation between the box and the empty space up to 1566. So you reaching up to basically the top. I mean, it looks like we might have brushed that 15, 13. And this has been a big resistance overhead. Okay, so now once we've established the higher time frame and why we're doing what we're doing, we can dive in and do a little brain surgery. Where's the empty space? Are you making it coming down? Are you making it going up? Right now, you are making it going down. You're filling empty space that you created today. Yes. So I mean, that is disappointing, obviously. But it would truthfully, zooming back out to the hourly, I wouldn't lose faith until really 1467 and 1463 are lost. That's where I think my concern would be. You could be starting something on a higher time frame. But as far as a play is concerned, and you did a damn good job, right? I mean, we're not disappointed in the 24-hour candle close, but where is it? What is it, right? It's that previous wall. And if I'm not mistaken, it should be basically the 50% mark of that range, give or take, right? So this is a reasonable place to pull back, for sure. I mean, you've had how many days of rippage? I bet we could average that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 2 days right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, okay, you definitely, I just was zooming in too far. So you definitely see more than that. But yeah, I mean, if you gap up or you can push above that wick, then you can just aim for the top of that range. Or I think we talked about the 1603 or 1605. So, all right, BA to the upside. That's 1, 2, 3, right? And we also talked about the consolidation that's likely to gonna lead this thing to its breakage. I find it really interesting being right up against that previous sell wall. And this one's going to be a little bit tougher to interpret. So maybe a little bit of brain surgery here might be helpful as well. So you got the hourly, you're building a box, and what's underneath that box? That box has empty space below. What's above you? You can't see it. 15, 30, still can't see it. 15, can't see it. Oh, we did see it. That's why I drew a little range. So what needs to be done to take BA to the upside since we have such an incognito wall that we're up against, right? And it's not, but that being like you have multiple rejections off of it. So one could actually look at a play to the downside if sellers finish that death blow below 234.50. That's where I think that probably would end up legging down, falling underneath that wall. And that could lead, that could definitely lead further, but I definitely see that empty space getting filled up. However, in order for you to go higher, that 24-hour wick is broken into pieces, right? And you could even go as far as making it down to the 5 minute. So this is where I tell you guys top-down analysis, right? Top down, anal assist. Okay? It's how it's spelled. I don't make the rules. But you have empty space within that box. Is everybody following me on TikTok here and Discord? You guys following me here? Because I think this is something that is worth clipping for later on, because I get a lot of questions on like, why are you, or why would you use the 5 minute, because you're looking at a 24-hour setup. This is the fractal thing. What's above is down below. So within this range, which we have to call it that, you only have 1 off the floor, 2 off the top. You have empty space up to 240.15. What do you need to grab on the 5 minute to make that happen? That's 237.85. So I'll leave this. I got to leave that to you, right? Because you're going to have to react accordingly to the triggers that are in front of you. One could play, and I hate to say it, but it's true. This is an area where both probabilities could be high probabilities. Now, I will say this. If sellers are supposed to step up, they typically need to do so quickly, right? Most rejections look like that, like that. So as far as holding, because you did reject like that, but you retested what sellers controlled before, and you pulled yourself back up in your building. So there is something to say about that. Maybe a quick retest within the box down below, and you're up and at 'em. So watch that floor tomorrow around 233.75.
Dude, I just noticed you're wearing the intake. That's crazy.
Okay. And then, dude, check this out. Hold on. Where'd it go? Do the boom boom stick with the intake. Listen, I can smell
Never
other
tried the boom boom
dimensions.
stick, but I wear the intake every night.
Listen, I can smell what? I like the cologne that Dustbuster's wearing today. Hold on. Jorge's wearing canvas jorts. It's crazy, dude. All right.
Yeah, that intake breathing, man, that changed the way I sleep completely.
I wear it because I snore. I get sleepy. All right. Listen. So hopefully that makes sense. Low risk, Chris, because there's some high. You're going to be high risk, Chris, tomorrow. Not high risk. You just got a lot of problems to
Hey,
figure out.
get
All
your
right.
strips off of Amazon, by the way.
Oh, are they on there cheaper?
Yes,
Okay.
they're so expensive through intake.
Yeah, they're 30. All right. That is a interesting setup right there. That is interesting. See, the one thing about Nike, besides that empty space all the way to 120, which is for real, you filled up a lot of that empty space, right? So let's kind of delete everything. Because here's what we can go ahead and let's all right. This is one of those moments, right? We played earnings. How long ago? In June. It is about to be September, right? It's about to now again. We did talk about, or you know what? Fuck it. Right? September historically is a shitty month. That doesn't mean individual equities can't make moves or start to build into bigger moves. Because towards the end of September, we could see a mark. But that being said, where are we? Okay. Period. End of story. That's very simple. You climb over the wall, you can walk past it. So what's above that? Nike has a range, right? Not a box, a range on the weekly, which is tough to interpret. Now, the other thing that I find interesting here
I like
is
it down.
I'm seeing,
Sorry.
yeah, I'm seeing. No, you're fine. I want to hear your opinion, but that right there is a dead giveaway on where that falls for me, or at least where sellers grab that price. Now, yes, that overhead, you got a weekly candle, that's not looking good. So you could probably expect that Nike, which is sitting, this is why the weekly is so useful. You can consolidate all the data. Watch this. Zoom in with me. It's just like Miss Frizzle. 1, 2, 3. See where we're sitting? So what do you imagine is going to happen if we lose that? We're going to go to that control. So you could literally take that analysis from the weekly, drop down to the 24-hour. Ooh, that's a box, right? So now I can draw my box. And now I know that 76.91 candle close downside should give us a decent trigger, right, to the upside. Now on the flip side, before you go down, you like to go up. So I wouldn't put it past Nike to flirt around, maybe even wick into that and pull yourself back up and try to get yourself a third run. So patience, but there's money here. This
Do you
is.
ignore the very obvious downtrend that was broken though?
Do I ignore it? Are you talking about the one coming from the like weekly
No,
time
when
frame?
you before you just zoomed out, there was an obvious downtrend that it broke out of on the weekly.
On the weekly?
Yeah, like you just showed it.
I did. That channel? That's an uptrend.
No, the smaller time frame. Like when you just zoomed in, you could see it.
I do not see it, but um my downtrend for Nike, which, yeah, I mean, if you look at it, if you take that into account, we're still holding. Here's what I could see. Hold on. I could see.
So when you zoomed in, I was like the mini downtrend on the inside of that. I see what you're doing now.
Got you. Okay, so maybe because we're going into September, you come back down and touch the floor and build into that move up. But here's what I can say. Nike is consolidated. Nike moves well when it breaks its just like most of everything, right? So if we can find some sort of pattern or time frame that it likes to consolidate in, that could be useful. But period, end of story. We got tension. We have 2 rejections on the weekly. So yeah, and I think the highlight of this play is that there's empty space down, right? So that's something where I would feel good about losing this wall. Like that right there, set an alert on it right now. So if you missed it up here, you didn't get a good entry, or speculate and whatever, that's where you could see that floor get lost. So, I mean, and that would lead you likely down to 64, 66. Now, upside, again, you're building on the floor. You're doing a good job of that. You've got 2 taps off of 80. So if you build and you do not fall and you climb back up and tap that again, I'm banking on an upside move. And I'm looking at 80, 85, 68. And to be honest with you, I think we'd probably go somewhere up into this range as well, which is interesting. This is, yeah, remember, I don't know if you guys remember that play. That Nike box right there, we played that to the 50% mark of that empty space. I think it started on, it wasn't earnings, it was a collab news or something like that. So, all right, Costco.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you want to do to this thing? Costco up. All right, so let's look on the weekly. All right, the only bullish things that I'm going to mention here on Costco is you're bouncing off your floor. Okay, that is what is bullish about it. We could also see that there's, I mean, you're in a down, nope, that's not the true downtrend. The downtrend is here, but it's sneaky. It's almost like you, okay, so it's almost like you popped out of it. So we'll just leave that be. And then what are you above? Okay, so now we're going to go to the 24-hour. You've got empty space above you. This is going to be easy. Surprisingly, I thought it was going to be hard there for a second. So I would actually be anticipating, where are you holding? Same floor? Okay. Interesting. Okay, so you held the top of that structure that you broke out of and retested and popped out of. So right now, above 952, I would be looking at a 956.30 retest. Now, if that's broken, I would feel good about going and heading towards the volume that you need to hit. At that point, let's see, is this a box? It is. And what is that, earnings? You might have invalidated it, or it was a weekly. Yeah, so the weekly candle was unable to close positively there. I'm not sure what that news was, or if that looks like a news candle. That being said, I would still trust the 993 or a candle close anywhere around that mark for a signal up to go fill the empty space here. So, let's see here. About to buy some chicken bakes to help the lungs. Do you talking about those fucking gross ass hot pockets at Costco? Shit tastes like homeless people food. I ain't gonna lie, and I know.
I agree with you, Puppy.
Hey,
The only thing that
It's
saves
like
those is
nothing.
you got to put hot sauce in them if you have to tolerate them.
The glizzies, though, different story.
Nah, man, I could still taste I can feel the cartilage in them. I hate when they're grainy, dude. Grainy hot dogs. I'm out. Leaving your cookout.
Greasy.
I need all beef Wagyu hot dogs.
Oi, oi, oi.
I mean, on the weekly, dude, what do you do? What do? You just fucking do your job. Yeah, I know that Stuff the glizzy in the chicken bake. That is a demonic suggestion, dude. That's crazy, dude. I bet you like to eat turduckens. What's the Discord? It links in my bio. Candace Ligma. All right, that's got to be a joke. Candace. I need Stelio or Jorge to give me analysis. What did I just say? Candace Ligma. What does that mean? All right, but as far as the CCL candles, I mean, 22 hour, you're holding. Yeah, you have a little bit of weakness, but you pulled yourself up off of that gap. So I would just trust the 3241. Candy's nuts. Okay, all right, that makes sense. Yeah, the link's in my bio website. Absolutely. All right. CCL. Interesting on the weekly too. Allegiant, right? Yeah. Ooh. All right. So can't argue with a solid downtrend like that. And here's the deal, right? You are about to move or make an attempt to move into a fat box, dude. I mean, this shit is fucking big. So candle close to 127. I think that you could go ahead, and this is where you got to dive down and do some deeper analysis. First green candle within the box is going to be 134, 134.50. So I think from there, it's going to be tough. I could, in my opinion, this is something that could pop up, hit that, and build, and then go for like, I mean, and again, you look at the consolidation phases it goes in, that would, make sense. But other than that, I think 126 and 127 are your targets in the short term. So, oh, so you do have that candle pointed out. Yeah, that looks good. Asana up. Let's see what's your chart looking like. Okay, so all right. So good job with the identification on that chart, Dave. But I have a correction to make. Okay, so this, right? That is no longer the same. If you're marking it out because it was a box, cool, right? But both of these are boxes that have already expended their volume, right? So they still hold structure, but they don't hold the signal like they usually do. So that being said, let me explain why. All right, so let's go to the 4 hour really quick. Do you see this box? Perfect, huh? Pop out, punch down, retest, right? Build a box, pop out, retest, punch down, retest, dump down. Empty space fill, hit the floor, go sideways, build, touch your old cost basis, and you move back down to fill some of your imbalances. So what you'll notice is the mechanism doesn't work the same. And this is a perfect example of that. Now, can you still rely on your floors? Yes, that's a great use. The boxes are still useful. So what does that mean? That means that you can still rely on 1481 being the area to fill. But what you can also do is focus on the areas that were within that box. So right now with this empty space, that would be the imbalance 1505, right? I think I've had enough breathing for one day. Damn. Damn. Shit's fucking. There you go. But at that point, then you would be looking at the 1530. When I say imbalance, it's just the 50% mark inside of empty space. QQQ is going for another high.
TTD is trying to break out of the box too.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, so yeah, that's what you're gonna have to do. And being outside of 1530 would be a great start to that journey. So the box is no longer valid, but the levels, yes, you're still using the same levels, but you just don't have that promise, right? We talked about that this morning. You don't have that same promise of of a new high. All right, so let's see, what else do we? Yeah, go ahead, TikTok. Everybody redrop your request. Is that Astes?
Tesla bounced nicely too today, by the way.
No shit, it did. It's probably it's still see.
Stuck her nicely. Be nice.
Yeah, Rivian's got 1372. Damn, that shit might make me rich, dude. Holy fuck, is it time? Get some leapies up to 2281 for October.
What about some January?
That might be good too. Don't ask me why. That's a long time. Damn, those are cheap as fuck. December 2250s are sweet too. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, what do we have? One box in front of us now that we need to punch through? And then we've got, I think, a 1534 target, easy. But with the right momentum, sheesh. All right, CRWV core weave. Oh, I got to keep QQQ over here. All right, core weave. Looks like it's fingers slipped. What'd you reject off of? Okay, so that was a floor. 24-hour. Okay, so that makes sense. That was literally the floor. All right, so this is either, and this is where you have to kind of look at what's underneath you. You got empty space where you need to close to be bearish. You're already pulling underneath that. There's also the same floor that you tried to go and reclaim. That's what you're sitting on top of. So 101.68 candle close, 4-hour time frame, coming back down more than likely. But I think the good news here is you're still holding. And if anything, if you can, yeah, so this would be like an opportunity where if you were already long, you could definitely, if you wanted to, either just set a really good stop loss or grab cheap hedges if those are available. But gap upside for earnings. All right. So I have, again, and we're hoping for a large move on earnings. We just had this discussion. Okay. In the chat, if you were watching, me and TTI were just talking about probabilities, and he doesn't think, and this is okay, right? We can disagree on this for sure. But he doesn't think that earnings are something that we can see with technical analysis. And I obviously adamantly disagree. But where we do agree and where I agree with is when the setup is not clear, that is when the risk goes back to who fucking knows, right? Snow had an element of who fucking knows because there's empty space up and there's empty space down. Now, because of that variable alone and the consolidation going into it, I'm willing to take a bet. Right? Because it's just a big move that I'm looking to take advantage of. And I know how to spot those, right? Consolidation typically fuels that with empty space in one direction or another. So that being said, when we look at gap, the only setup that we can kind of look at would be a punchback through today's high. That punchback would likely lead us to 2386. If it's a good enough earnings, then the fucking world is your oyster, right? Now to the downside. So do you see what I'm saying? Like, if not here where I can explain to you why this would just go up, period, not because of earnings, right? And we've talked about this one. There's a beautiful lesson within this, right? You have structure right here. I remember talking about this as it was happening. We had our 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? This is where typically we see a break or a buy, right? Price moves below, retests the large area of accumulation, right? Accumulation is consolidation, right? And you could be accumulating shorts or you could be accumulating calls, but usually if you bounce off of it and you pull yourself up, you're pulling volume out of that because you're going to continue moving higher. So sellers who wanted this to go down failed. This is the same shit I teach on just every single day. What's above us? Empty space, right? So going into earnings, it is just clear, right? Same thing with Schwab, same thing with, Mara, which I guess that wasn't earnings. But that being said, going back to Gap, there's a lot of what ifs. Now, the thing that I say is positive about this is that Gap does move well on earnings, and that adds a little bit of like magic, right? Okay, well, we definitely could. Now, if it didn't have a history of doing that, then I don't, right? So I'm weighing the variables here. Okay, how much are the contracts? If they were $150, kick rocks, right? If they're under $20, I don't know about you, but I can afford that risk. All right. Anyway, hopefully that helps. All right. Am I taking Alta ER? No, I'm just hanging on to ELF. I missed the boat with Alta, my friend. I do think Alta has a good chance of getting up to the highs there. I think on a pullback, this one would see 490, but realistically, I don't see Alta really falling until across the board. I love when stocks just tell you. It's like, this is the on and off switch. Dead ass. Look at the structure. You build underneath it. You build on top of it. You reject it. You reject it and then break it. It's a big level. So what's underneath you? Empty space. What was above you? Or under you, empty space. So same thing. A firm way overpriced. The IV is redonkulous. Fuck a firm. I mean, I hope to God if you do take it that it screams eagle for you, dude. But I wouldn't in a train, in a plane, or if I was with Morgan Trades and he was causing me pain. I'm sorry. That's not my fault. All right.
You have a sickness.
I gotta go. Someone needs to lock me up. All right. All right. That being said, IV is through the motherfucking roof, so you need that shit to absolutely scream. Baba, then. Baba, you on the weekly do not look that great. The monthly looks hot dog water. Oh, man, it's so tough to like. So let's just boil this. Let's just find some hardline facts. See, can't even find a fucking hardline fact. Okay, so that's a box, and it's just a really ugly one. So you're sitting on cost basis. You got this empty bar under here. You've got this floor right there. I mean, it's hard not. So tonight, we need to see China scream. Otherwise, I mean, fuck, dude. I don't know if maybe taking puts might be a better idea. Is there any meetings with China happening anytime soon? I mean, I almost just semi-convinced myself to take that short. Fuck. But the risk is ridiculous.
I've been waiting on that Baba play for a minute.
Are you gonna short it? If you take it, I'll take it. Tell me what to take. I'm scared. I'm scared of Baba, dude. I got $800.
The 108s. Or fuck, I don't know. You know, the 110s maybe?
Tonight?
I think that's
tomorrow?
You'd go with more time? I mean, if you're going to go for it, they're really expensive, no?
Yeah, they're
108?
fucking mad expensive. Crazy. But you can pay
Nah,
just a
wait.
little bit more to get next week's. All right. I can buy 14 contracts for $850. And then I'll grab today's, or not today's, tomorrow's. That doesn't make any sense either. 128. That's $92. Nah, I'm just gonna take a loss on this one. But look at JD, it's bouncing. Fuck, dude. All right, I'm hedging against.
Hey Potter, could you do a Marvel real quick? There's a few people that asked.
Yeah, I'm gonna take 130s for tomorrow. Marvel has earnings, right?
Yeah.
Does it move all on earnings? Kind of. Yes. Yes. Weekly. Fuck. Build. Bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just kidding. 1, 2, 1, 2. Empty space all the way to motherfucking up to $96. Holy shit. How much does those cost? What are we looking at for the Marvel contracts?
92s or 35.
Oh, nothing. You said 92s or what?
92s or 35.
Let me see, but I'll take a little taste. I made too much money on snow, so feeling a little saucy right now. That's it for the week, though. I'm done. No more. That's a fucking interesting. You know what's so interesting about this is where that's sitting. Like, and you already see what happened when you did it once. See what we get, my friends. Oh, I didn't grab any downside. We could be cooked, Cat. We could be cooked. Hold on. How much time do I have? Oh, shit. I have 10 seconds. I got 65s. All right.
That's exactly what I got.
Damn, look at you, dude. Look at you.
I got the 101s in this. Well, sorry. I got the 101s in the 64s. But I was looking in the same area.
101s.
Sorry, I lied. I'm looking at a different one. Sorry, hold on. Marvel. 92s and the 62s. That's what I got. That's better.
Yeah, if you're on Discord or on TikTok, keep dropping your requests. I'm not done. Been on live. I was on live on TikTok live for 4 hours,
Just
dude.
said no.
Do what?
The index is all just dumped right close.
No, they didn't. Let's see. Fuck off.
Well, not dumped, but they just got red candles.
Hold back to the fucking 576. I swear to God, I'll grab puts right now. I gotta get this bear out of me. Does anybody have any bear exorcism videos they could share with me? Exercise this bear out of myself.
Just use bear spray on yourself.
There you go. Get out!
I can put a bull in you.
Oh my God. I don't want a bull. Maybe that's my problem. All right. I mean, again, I'm just joking, guys, about the Q puts. This is a pullback into cost basis. I'm just speculating because we have so many holes underneath us, dude. It's fucking. When it does happen, I'm ready, dude. I'm ready. I'm locked the fuck in. Trust. That sounded pretty good, didn't it, Jorge?
Very good.
33 years old, guys. 33 years old. What else did we get? Hey, what's up, Ivy?
Hey, just wanted to confirm if we have work on Monday since it's Labor Day there.
Hell nah. Y'all can take the day off.
All right, perfect. Thank
Spa
you.
treatment. Do you want to work?
It ain't Labor Day there. They should work.
What? Shut the fuck up.
Hey, yo.
Ban this guy from
Done your
Thailand
TPS
or from
reports?
the Philippines. Wait, what? What'd you say?
Have you done your TPS reports? Like on Office Space?
We need you to work on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do your TPS reports. Well, listen. I just want to say this. If September, listen, we can look at September, right? And it's historically, I don't know if so maybe we should look into this historically. Is it bad, like bearish, or is it historically like flat, just not moving? And we can take that information if the statistics are high enough. I'm all about stats. So like if the statistics are high enough for September, we can just take that into account, right? Setup first. Setup look good, take setup. All
It's
right.
actually helpful the fact the indexes are basically all time high and September is historically red.
That could be a thing. There's the bear inside of me. I don't know if it's a real bear or if it's like a Labubu bear. Labubus aren't bear though. What are they? Demons? All right. ADSK popped. Holy hot diggity damn, dude.
Hey, did anybody ask you? Somebody had asked me earlier to look at Sezzle, and I looked at it. It looked really good.
Ooh, oops.
That was me.
Little typo
no.
there.
What was that?
Nothing. You got a box that you punch through.
Yet, but
It's right there. Clearly I was wrong. Well, actually, I don't know what I was talking about when I drew that line. Oh, I said okay, now I remember. I said it'd be cool if you went and retested 7650 and then bounced back and punched through this box, but can't always have it how you
contracts are
want.
really expensive.
Are they?
So,
Interesting.
yeah, they're
Listen.
monthlies.
These weeklies, guys, or excuse me, this wall 9819 where the wick is off of, that would be the to tell all. Now, that being said, I'm not against pointing out that this channel, typically more volume, wider channel, less volume, smaller channel. So, I wouldn't be surprised maybe if you wick up, but if that does not hold, because we're looking for a 24-hour candle close, I would just keep that in mind. So if you're already in or you get in or something like that, it's not the most terrible candle close, but it doesn't look super enthusiastic.
Entry earlier when I was looking at it and drilled down to the hourly, I think the entry would have been like 96, if I remember correctly. I'm not in my computer.
We might be glad that we grabbed those 65 puts with a couple minutes left. We'll see. Okay, you just bounced off your floor. Let's see. Bull is moving. Okay, yeah, might go punch back. Adobe.
Bulls are earning tonight, right?
Yeah. What are you doing, Marvel? What would be the best time to sell a contract? Yeah, the beginning of the day, the prices of the contracts are typically higher, especially if it's going in your favor. Sorry, that nicotine pouch, the 15 milligram, just hit me right when I started talking. Sheesh. I'm good.
Anyone get into Affirm?
Did you? Adobe. Okay, so you lost that channel, but you kept your floor right there. You did dip down into your imbalance on that wick and pull yourself back up and then punch back and go fill up your empty space. And now you have retested the box that you have broken out. This is typical of Adobe. And so basically the conclusion,
I did.
The conclusion here would be that you are sitting up against 360, 372. You've got multiple bounces off of that 640 or 346, 39. And so if you can hold and flip even over 358.18, I would try to go for that breakout over 360, 372 up through the empty space that's above you to 368.90. TL. Yeah, so with TY or TLYS is a weird ass chart. I can't lie to you. The weekly does look resilient in the way that it's kind of like pushing back, up against that 223, but I mean, that has to break 225, and then you can try to go after that empty space all the way up to 325. How's Alta doing? Oh, yeah. Okay, that was my target. Well, a little bit past it, actually. Yeah, you did it. So that's good for us, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Some of the people yesterday took Elf. I didn't even know they took options on Elf. I was like, damn. You're about to make 100K combined on both bid and ask on and Alta. Oh, you took all of those, dude? Great job, dude. Send your Zell. Nah, man. That's you, bro. You worked for
My
that money,
Zell.
dude.
Let me know if he needs my Zell.
Okay. Send it to Ivy and Alex. Yeah, I if if you guys want to sign up, that's different. But as far as like the money you make trading, you did that. Doesn't matter what I taught you, dude. Like you had to learn the information, you had to study it, you had to go through your own shit, you had to put the work in, you had to stress out and learn how to deal with that stress, and you know so I yeah, I've actually had a good amount of people ask me if I or offer to send me. Yeah, that's you guys. You guys need to keep your money. Yeah, send it to Palestine. There you go. Now,
Plus, you can hang out with us.
if you want to send Instacart gift cards or DoorDash gift cards, those might be accepted. I can't say no to a good old fashioned Instacart.
You always getting DoorDash.
Yeah, man. I earned this lifestyle, man.
DoorDash whore.
DoorDash whore is
You know,
crazy.
65's looking good. I forgot to fucking hedge, man. Yeah.
You didn't grab the 65s, brother?
They missed on revenue, so it should fall.
Okay, well, let's see if they fall through. Let's see. Oh, I definitely will send it to them.
That's a dangerous statement.
What?
They missed on revs, so they should fall.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if I'd be
Knowing
so
that,
sure,
knowing
dude.
that, knowing that TDD triple beat and fell 45%.
Yeah, dude. The rules.
Yeah, no, the earnings rule are definitely different for sure. But
Isaac, it looks good, dude. Yeah, it obviously the trajectory is moving in that direction. So, oh, Marky Mark, thanks for the gifts, guys. It's always hard to see those. Appreciate that. Nice gains on SPX, Michael. Jesus, 440%. Yeah, if you guys have any gains for today, post those in the chat. Anybody else on TikTok have anything they want me to take a look at? Any other
Or can
earnings?
you look at the NEE kind of close? Because it appears we actually fell below your target. In the historic low now, we just hit for the options values.
This is the most confusing part to me. I think understandably, right? So it's not even a box. I like to get lost in a box, but when there's no box, I get lost. Okay, so I this is step by step.
So
I
many
think
things I want to say to that, but
I could feel everybody's discipline. Good job. These are tests. I'm writing all this stuff down. 7113 is the punch down. And that's where I see 6737. You are definitively under where sellers control the price. Times 2. So Oh, Dell.
Okay, so I'll wait till tomorrow. I was looking for confirmation that not to jump in yet.
Yo, check out AMBA. Amba.
Amberella.
Yeah.
You know Rihanna started that stock?
Really?
No.
Bro, he just. All right. Bro, he just says bullshit sometimes and it pisses me off, bro. Why would you say
Hey, he said it just pisses him off. My rage
just
baiting
about
Stelio
that?
without even knowing it, dude. That's awesome. Is Stelio, are you just sitting like at your desk like constantly with your fist clench?
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, I can't believe
Yeah.
you just.
He said,
You
yeah.
said it pisses me off.
That's my fucking guy right there.
You shouldn't be celebrating that shit, Jorge. That's why I'm gonna dunk
Real
on
ones
you when
know.
I
Real
see you,
ones
dude.
know.
So yeah, I mean, with Amberella, with that candle close or being up against 85, the next target would be 94. I just pissed him off with that. It's fucking gold, dude. He just says bullshit. It pisses me off. I'm fucking dead, dude. Dell would be good under 123.82 to go retest down into the 115s. But don't be so sure about that wick. It doesn't always follow through. It's got to lose its levels here.
I'm losing
just
my
had
mind.
earnings.
I have a question though.
What?
Can you look at TTD? I was kind of, I was a little bit conflicted, you know.
Me too.
So I was thinking about getting like 62s, but you see that wick on the left right there?
Yeah.
You-
Yep.
Do you think I would have had to add a week?
I think adding a week, yeah. Because
Okay, cool.
right now with so here's my issue, and I want to ask, for those of you guys looking at this, maybe I'm tripping, but it feels like a repeat of UNH where there is no box at the top. You know what I mean? To like, oh. So it feels a whole lot like that, where it's just like, okay, and maybe we can argue that it's more structured. You've got a box down here, it's top, basically sharing cost basis. But so underneath 52, we can almost guarantee that 50. Who is?
I was about to say gap stumping.
Please, it needs to gap hard. I need hard.
You got it, or at least it did for a second. Maybe it just wicked.
Oh shit! I was like, dude, what are you guys talking about? Gap hasn't
Yeah,
moved at all.
It was a quick wick on the 4-hour.
Yeah, bull wicked up and it's coming back down.
Damn it! I'm pretty sure those are the contracts that I grabbed too to the downside. Hold on, let me see. Oh no, I got 17s. Fuck. Okay. Well, let's see. Because honestly, if that can whip the fuck back up, dude, that could go up going into next week. Can I do DDD? Yes.
Still going over TDD.
Oh yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Chad.
Showing a little of his ADD there.
I feel like a toddler on a leash sometimes. All right. So, okay, let's just. I think it's gonna fall tomorrow. I'm sorry. I know you guys are in this, but I don't think that this holds up. I just don't. And the only way that it does, I'm just being honest. But again, you got to stick to your fucking guns. If it loses 54.72 tomorrow, you're going down, and you're gonna go retest that structure. And if you fall underneath it and it has that juice, okay, gap. If it has that juice, 53, right, and more than likely 50. I just want to get okay. You got to pack a lot of supplies to make a move.
Do you need to confidently think it's going up? Just curious.
That something where I can see something like that. You know what I mean? Some more volume, because here's my problem. Okay, look
So
how
tomorrow, say that it breaks 56. That doesn't tell you with the
if
candle close.
if it breaks 56, then I'll shut my mouth. Right? because I use boxes to dictate whether something is going up. Where's the box? You know what I'm saying? So like that's what
I'm not
that's
arguing. I'm just trying to get like deep in your mind of what
no
exactly.
I'm telling you, huh? What'd you say?
I'm just trying to see what you need is like that 100%. Like, okay, I'm going in now. You know what I mean?
I mean, had this candle closed and not reacted to that straight rejection, then I would feel good about it. If tomorrow it builds and then pops back over, I'll feel good about it. But it has to, and again, I think I said today that, you know, we still have that uptrend channel, you know, that's a possibility. But this is just a preference too, right? My preference is bleeding into this analysis. My preference is that we have something to punch through. So by falling to the floor, not even falling any lower, right? But by falling to the floor, I at least have something to go off of, and I can look for that level to get reclaimed. And that's where I'd feel way better about taking something that just rejected 3 times off of its top, or 2 times if you want to just, you know, be technical here. I see the bounce and then the rejection and the hold, and then, you know, the second and the third one. But if that follows through, sellers should want that price to fall lower. So if we start seeing floors get recovered, that to me adds enough volume for us to get where we need to go. So maybe I'm pulling, you know, a little bit of what happened to UANH in there, but the setups are so similar. And here's my main point. That is a metric ass ton of empty space, right? So we could expect, or rather want, price to accumulate like this, right? Where you build and you pop and you fill your empty space and you continue to build, fill up all of that empty space and build. Every single time you pop, you're building all inside of a very, you know, tight-ish range. And that's when you make that move. And so like, if we want that, do we have enough volume right now? And that's my question. And so if you, again, I haven't taken it, but I will if we move down here and I see these areas, which this is where the problem solving comes in, right? I can have all the opinions I want, but if the chart tells me that we're ripping 55.72 candle close and the only thing I have left to deal with is a wick, I can take my chances. I can set my stop loss and I can abide by it. So as of right now, that was a decent bounce off of cost basis on a 30-minute. So here we go. Little box right there. So again, if you're already in, I have nothing to say to you. But just use the chart. The chart will tell you if it's going to go down. You can hedge yourself that way, right? You could look for the 54 area to get retested or hedge down to 53. Like there's ways to manage this trade because of how clean the chart is, at least on these lower time frames, where you can apply those problem solving skills. So
I do have one quick question before you move to something else, because I'm in that. I was gonna I'd like to like a letter grade if I'm in school of my contract selection. I got 66s that expire that last Friday in September. How would you grade that contract selection?
66. For October or end of September?
The very end of September.
I'd say that's pretty good. That's probably a B minus. I maybe an extra week and you're up at an A minus.
Okay.
Just the only
that's good to know.
Yeah. So I mean, like, my concern would be that it would fall short. Like maybe you hit 62, the little pocket of volume right here, and you have to build, right? So like how you rip, you know, obviously will dictate that a lot, but you know, I mean, it's that is not a bad. The strike price is in alignment with the 65, and your contracts. By the time you even get to 60, when you get above 60, your contracts are going to be up nice and juicy. Your contracts are going to be being bought, and if that happens in a reasonable amount of time, and I'm wrong, and this does not reject, and it pops right off the top, which I certainly hope it does, then yeah, I mean, It's 62.15 first, and then 65 next, and that's all you. So, funny enough, that's exactly where this range is separated. Like that is a range in between the two targets. So. Oh man, I wanted to swing hands. Sorry, man. Few more years and I got to walk away from any fight that starts in between a 20-year-old dude. Gotta kill my ego before then. Yeah, we've got a Gap. I don't know. We'll see how that opens up tomorrow. So, AMAT. So that's another week. It's leaving the box in a fashion that just doesn't really speak to strength, but sellers haven't stepped up. So hopefully tomorrow, being that you've already tapped the 50% mark of that wick, you can leave it, and that'd be 167.50. And at that point, yeah, I'd feel way better about moving up into your second target, which should be, I have to pay attention to this median, so right around 170 psychological. Damn. All right, guys, go ahead and call it a day. We'll see how earnings opens up tomorrow.
Hey Garrett, one last one. Could you look at Bros? It appears to have broken that 73 line that you had before. It's tapped multiple times on the 73.
Let's see here. Fuck. Where's that? Okay, so you built a box, then you built a box on top of that, and you gapped up past it, retested, and then pulled back and punched through the box down below, built a box here, and then retested the empty space. So now the only thing that you really have is that 74. Yeah, that's it. So that basically is 50% of that range. And looking at the most recent price action, kind of ignoring that structure there to your left, you already have the floor. So cold 72.40. I would be looking at a target at 76.30. And then, to be honest with you, I think that could be a, 81 reach. Let's see, look at the weekly.
Okay, I saw the 82. That's why I was wondering.
The weekly looks great.
I was trying to find something else that I hadn't heard anyone mention that looks decent.
Yeah, look at that mark right there. So that previous high of 77.50, that could be your sign. Even though that is as high as it is, I still would consider buying equity. I kind of missed the boat on that one.
Yeah, I read it when it was 30, and I was telling all my friends about it, and I didn't buy any myself.
That's hilarious because I actually did. Oh shit.
I mean, we're coming into pumpkin spice season for Starbucks. That's normally a good thing for them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, right. Pumping on pumpkin spice. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I did talk about it. I should have shut my mouth and just did it. I did mention how I liked Bros, and I think I got a bad taste in my mouth, which that's my own fucking fault. But yeah, it obviously wasn't moving very well. This is actually probably a good example of what I expect Bull to do in a different way with more volume. But I actually really do like Bros. Channel wise, it's not my traditional, box punch back, but as far as, the 24 hours concerned, this is a pretty damn good fucking start. So
Pure Storage went crazy.
who did?
PSTG.
Oh my god, TTI.
I know.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I went to take that. I meant to take that too, and I just missed it. I was paying attention.
I said Potter likes Bros, but Bros left a bad taste in his mouth. Get the fuck out of here, dude. That's fucked.
Actually great.
That's so fucked. Oh shit. Ah! Oh god, why do I show up every day? I was kidding. All right, guys. I think we got everything taken care of. Good job today. Those of you guys in the game, Neil. Looks like you knocked out, yeah, Mondongo, SPX, Michael, NU, and CCL. I don't know how the free chat did today. Nobody posted anything, so yeah. All right, guys. Y'all have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. It is Friday before a long weekend, so I'm interested to see how this price action plays out. I think this could be an intraday thing, so be ready.
Affirm is ripping. Sorry,
what,
I know
is
you're
it
trying to
really?
leave.
No, you're fine. You're
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. Oh no, shit, it is. I hope, dude. I hope this hits for you guys for sure. That shit was expensive as hell. Clear, but expensive.
Yeah. See what happens.
Wait
It is
one
earnings,
second.
so